Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to bisect angles and segments. But before I can bisect an angle and a segment, I have to have some segments or some angles. So let's make a segment right here. Let's make segment AB. I'll start drawing and you guys tell me when to stop, okay?
Stop.
Okay, thank you. I'll stop right there. Now, let's make an angle. Now, for any angle, of course, I have to have a base. And so we'll call that A and B somewhere on this. And for then the angle, then I'll swing it around here somewhere. But I don't know where to swing it to, so I tell you what, I'll start and you guys tell me when to stop.
Stop.
Okay, thank you very much. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to bisect this angle and this segment. Now, to bisect a segment, we're going to use our protractor again and or our stick of wood. Now I could do the same thing as I did previously. I could hold it down at this edge. I could make a mark, and that mark on the stick, and then I could swing it around here and here. But you'll start to see that it's really kind of hard for me to make a nice pretty set of arcs. Now, that was with my correct hand. This ought to be a dumpster fire. So let's see if I can draw an arc this way. The challenge is, with bisecting segments and angles, the constructions are only as good as your artwork. And as you can see, I did it with my stick, and I created an arc from this side and an arc from this side. And to bisect the segment, all I have to do is figure out it crosses up here and crosses down here, connect the dots between the lines. There it is. I did a bisector of my segment. So that's what I do. However, this is where the safety compass or an actual compass comes into play. It doesn't do anything different than I just did with the stick of wood. It's just that I can use my safety compass and hold that point down, and this will swing around, and even if my paper moves, the compass and the paper don't move with relation to each other. So if I pick a point, let's see here, this one, I can draw a nice pretty arc from this side. Now, I use the one right below the 2. So when I come over here, I want to use the one right below the 2. There you go. Now, you'll notice with my safety compass, my arcs are a little bit nicer. You'll also notice that my line is almost in the same place. Arguably, because I'm using the safety compass, which is a lot more exact than my stick of wood, my final line is probably better than my first line. But what I want to show you is, even though this has marks on it, I'm not using any of the marks. All I'm doing is picking a point and going from each end. That's all it is. Now, this creates a bisector. It only works if the point you choose is over halfway from A to B. So I need to choose some point more than halfway and use that as my arc, and then using the same place, come over here and do the same thing, okay? So it's very important that from each end you use the same distance. And if you do that, it creates a bisector. Now let's see, did it actually bisect? The whole thing is about just over 4, and this is just over 2, looks like 2 1/16, and that is 2 1/16. It definitely did bisect it correctly. So that means if I call this point C, I could say AC is congruent to CB, and the reason would be by construction. Okay, now let's talk a little bit about bisecting an angle. Now, to bisect an angle, what we need to do is we need to first pick any length on this. Let's pick right over here. And so I'm going to pick this, and I'm going to make a mark. There you go, hold one end down. Make an arc around the angle. Now, from there, I'm going to come up to the two places it intersects. And I'm going to make another arc. And that arc has to be more than halfway, so maybe right here. And I use the one right here. So I'm going to mark that somehow. That's going to be this one. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 from the end. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 from the end. Okay, so the point was I could choose any length I wanted, mark this. Come up here to where it crosses, pick something over halfway, mark it. Pick something over halfway, mark it, and call that a win. Now, by connecting the dots here and here, we can create a construction. There it is. And in this case, we have now taken this big angle and we've cut it in half. I don't know how big it is. I don't have a protractor. Let's assume that angle ABC was 40 degrees. That makes angle problem. Why is ABC wrong? A needs to be my vertex in the middle, so it'll be CAB equals 40 degrees. So now the half CAD, angle CAD equals 20, and BAD would also equal 20, okay? And so what we've done is we've made two congruent angles. So that is how you bisect a segment. That's also how you bisect an angle. But technically, I've done something else. Somebody needs to tell me something about the angle between the red line and the black line. If you can't figure it out, let me help you. If I take a square piece of paper and the black line runs right along one and the red line runs right along the other, then we can be pretty confident that we have created a right angle in the corner. All right, so that's bisect segments, that's bisect angles. We'll pick it up from there.